Ugh, what the heck is this year? So now something's going on with Dr. Disrespect and nobody knows what, and it is infuriating. It's usually pretty easy for me to figure these kinds of things out, but everyone is being so tight-lipped about this, which means that it's probably something pretty bad. And that got me thinking about, what if I was Dr. Disrespect? What if I was in the same position that he's in and I was seeing all of these people speculating about all of the things that I had done wrong? Now, before I get too far ahead of myself, for those of you who don't know what's happening, Dr. Disrespect was recently completely removed from Twitch, like permabanned, not coming back, confirmed from multiple sources. People have had their subs refunded and nobody seems to know why. None of us can figure it out. Hopefully by the time that I post this video, we figured it out, because this is driving me crazy. Now, a lot of you watching this are small streamers, which means that you've never really been to the level that Dr. Disrespect has been to. And so you don't know the perspectives and the things that he's struggling with versus someone that is in your position. As someone who's been on Twitch for over 7 years at this point, I've had both experiences. I've had the experience of having 20 viewers for a long period of time and 250 viewers for a long period of time. Now, someone who has had 250 viewers does not completely understand what Dr. Disrespect is going through, but there are a lot of differences between the 20 viewer experience and the 250 viewer experience. So what I want to do for you during this video is prove to you that it's actually better to be a small streamer than it is to be a larger one. I'm going to give you some reasons why, and hopefully you'll leave this video feeling just a little bit more comfortable with the fact that you're not growing as quickly as you wish that you were. But before we do that, Own3D is an amazing marketplace full of all the graphics that you need for your stream. They have alerts, panels, even emotes, which is wild, and you can actually buy a package that has already been created and get your graphics instantly. It works with every single stream. It's very, very easy integration. This is really good for those of you who are at the point where you maybe don't have the money or the traction yet to be able to hire a designer on your own, and you need something that's going to make you look just a little bit more professional versus the Canva graphics that you've probably been creating yourself. So if you haven't checked them out already, make sure that you do. There is a link for that below. What's up, everyone? It's Ashni. I've been a stream coach for a few years now. Do I have to do an intro? It doesn't happen often anymore, but every once in a while I get a client in my coaching business who just wants to blow up. They are so in love with Twitch that they just want to have the hundreds or the thousands of viewers. And so they end up having a completely unrealistic expectation of the platform. Even if your expectations are realistic, you might still have the goal of someday hitting hundreds or thousands of viewers in your stream. And the problem with this is that a lot of us love to think that we are people who can handle fame, but the reality of it is not what we imagined. Being one of the biggest streamers on the platform really is not as easy as you think that it is. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. Also, if you have any questions, you can come hang out with us at discord.gg/ashnichrist, and Stream Coach Academy, my 6-week boot camp for streamers, is opening up here really, really soon. If this is something that you're interested in, make sure that you are on our email list. You can get on that if you go to streamcoach.tv. There's a link for all that down below. One of the worst parts about fame, or even just mild, medium streamer fame, in my opinion, is that you don't really know who to trust. Whenever you have a medium or a large amount of viewers and people look at you as this streaming successful personality, people will put you into really weird positions just to try and bait you. There were so many times during my streams where I actually had people come in and they would try to get me to talk badly about another streamer, or they would try to bait me to say something really questionable, and it's very insidious. Like, how do you do that? Sometimes you can tell that the people that are asking you questions or trying to bait you like this are being very, very obvious, but a lot of times it's not as obvious, and people are trying to put you into an awkward position because they have some kind of problem with you or they don't want to see you successful. So you don't know who to freaking trust sometimes, and it's the worst. After this happens to you so many times, you start to question literally every relationship that you ever develop. Imagine every person that reaches out to you, every person that comments on anything, you think that they have some kind of ulterior motive. Now, not everyone gets to that level. Some people are able to maintain a really positive mental attitude towards this kind of stuff, but not everyone does. There are a lot of people who are successful streamers who have been burned so many times, and now they just can't trust anybody. And that's a really horrible reality to live in. This is why you see a lot of the largest streamers playing with the same people over and over, talking to the same people over and over, and not really communicating with other people outside of that small group. It could be because they've been burned in the past and they just don't trust anyone. Also, of course, they're probably just friends. It's generally a mixture of the two. Imagine because of your fame, you're not really sure who to trust, but add on top of that everything that you do is scrutinized. Imagine thousands or millions of people having opinions about the way that you live your life. And imagine that half of those opinions are negative ones. Every choice that you make is questioned. Every person that you talk to is turned into some clickbait relationship video. Every single second of your life is, I don't know, I paused because I don't really have a word for this other than scrutinized, and I don't really want to repeat myself. Okay, so you don't know who to trust. Everything that you say or do or think is scrutinized. And add on top of that now that you have haters. Now, everyone says the same thing about haters, and it's that if you have haters, it means that you're doing something right, which, yes, is true. If you're recognized enough to the level where there are people who actively want to see your career demolished, that means that you have a career worth demolishing. But at the same time, just because you have haters doesn't validate to yourself that all of a sudden you're this incredible person. You're still a human being, and seeing people speak negatively about you can be really taxing on your mental health. And the bigger that you are, the worse that this freaking gets, okay? And this is why so many of us, we self-sabotage ourselves once we start to see success, because we realize that success comes with this massive weight of suddenly everyone caring about what we have to say and what we do. And a lot of people are not prepared for that level of scrutiny of their lives. Sure, we love the idea of lots of people loving us, but that's the key. We love the idea of lots of people loving us. Not many people love the idea of lots of people hating them. There are some of you freaking weirdos out there. Let me know in the comments if that is you. Okay, I can't even get this sentence out because it's like, y'all freak me out already. Another reason it's better to be a small streamer is because your life is not limited by your audience's expectations. What does that mean? When you're a large streamer, people expect specific behaviors from you, specific content from you, and when they don't get it, they can get very cranky. There's a reason that a lot of streamers stream for 6 or 7 days a week. It's because sometimes they try to stream less and their audience gets super mad about it. Now, of course, there are ways that you can get around this, and typically it's by building your brand based on your personality and being marketable just beyond the games that you play. Someone like Ninja, who's so famous for streaming Fortnite, he is Fortnite and Fortnite is Ninja, and they are so intertwined that whenever he tries to stream something else, his numbers are much, much, much lower. Maybe Ninja should have bought my ebook because I talk all about how to build a brand without relying on a game. Shade! Think about living your life and creating your content with your audience's expectations in mind. If you had to live up to what they wanted with every single stream, otherwise your 20,000 viewers disappeared, would that be something that you actually would enjoy? Imagine not being able to have creative control or creative freedom over what you post and spending hours and hours and hours every single day doing only what your audience wants. Now, some of you are gonna say, yeah, but not all big streamers do this. A lot of them jump around, and that's true. Not everybody is locked into this type of relationship with their audience, but a lot of them are, because a lot of them started growing 5, 10, 12 years ago, and that was a completely different landscape than what it is now. They didn't have all that information available to them to help them figure out how to build a brand that would let them play multiple types of games. Some people just ended up doing it anyways and kind of like lucking into that type of relationship with their audience. Another thing that sucks about being a big streamer is that people are out to get you. Yes, it's so crazy to me that there are some people who are actively wishing for the destruction of others. How boring are you that your only entertainment is trying to destroy somebody else's life? Like, what? Do you not have other things to do? Can't you just focus on building rather than destroying? Now, we're not talking about holding people accountable here, because yes, people should absolutely be held accountable for the mistakes that they've made and the bad things that they've done, but there's a difference between holding someone accountable and actively wanting to destroy them. You see every single large streamer and you see their chats and you see all of the love that they give and all the comments that they get on YouTube, and you think, oh my gosh, everybody loves them. That is not true. Every single one of them has a large group of people who would love nothing more than to see that creator disappear. Now, sometimes this doesn't bother you. Sometimes you have the mental capacity to be able to write off the people who actively want to destroy you, but sometimes you don't. Sometimes you're a little less strong than normal, and you really hurt thinking about all of these people who want your career to die. RIP. Small streamers might get trolls, and there are a ton of things about being a small streamer that are really frustrating, which I talk about in this video. But whenever it comes down to it, there are so many people who are actively working against large streamers and want to see them fall that it can be very emotionally taxing. It's not as easy as you think. It really isn't. And this is not a video telling everyone to respect Dr. Disrespect. I personally believe that his character can be really problematic, and him as a person has done some very questionable things, and if Twitch feels like he needs to be off the platform, then he probably does. However, I don't think that we should aim for fame if we're not ready to deal with the consequences of it. Imagine that you can't trust anyone. Everything that you say or do is scrutinized. You have groups of people who want to see you fall, and there's so many people who are completely negative and nasty towards you just for being you and for being in the position that you're in. They don't even know you at all. They just hate you, just the principle of it. That's crazy. You're gonna have problems at every stage in your career, and this is the honest truth of this video, okay? You're gonna have problems at every stage. Just because you have a growth problem right now and you find the solution to that doesn't mean that more problems aren't gonna pop up and take the place of your older problems. I think it's responsible for all of us to put a limitation on how large we want to grow. I think there is a moral problem with just growing in perpetuity forever, and that's just what you do, and that's the expectation of it. Putting that amount of pressure on yourself and seeking power at that level can be really toxic. Unfortunately, that is the direction that a lot of people take. They value power and influence over everything else. Spooky. Now, there's nothing wrong with wanting to grow, but power for the sake of power? Why? Some of us are just meant to be small streamers, and that's okay, because being a small streamer is a ton of freaking fun too. However, if you want to grow and you want to learn a little bit more about why your viewership might be stuck, I made this video for you to help you get out of your viewership plateau. I'll see you over in that one. Bye! I love you.